Wendy Johnson with Drive Across Texas, and today we are here in Comanche, Texas, Comanche County, Texas as well. Comanche is the actual county seat, and I'm standing here in front of Old Cora, which was the original courthouse. Back in 1859, whenever Comanche became the county seat, this was moved in, and it's still here. It's really amazing. Comanche was once known as the peanut capital of Texas. Lots of history down here, y'all. If you come to the courthouse yourself, you can walk around the courthouse and find dozens of historical markers, everything from a time capsule to Old Cora, to monuments about war heroes and generals. You'll see the old oak tree known as the Fleming Oak, and there's a fun story behind it. It actually saved a little boy and kind of during an Indian raid. You'll find some markers about the Indian raids as well, how Comanche got its name. Lots of fun stuff down here. I'm telling y'all, Comanche is so worth your drive across Texas. Hey y'all, it's Wendy Johnson with Drive Across Texas, and I'm here in Comanche, Texas, in Comanche County, and I'm with Mr. Pat Brennan at Brennan Vineyards. I'm so excited to hear the story. We're in this amazing house that he's going to tell us a little bit about.
Well, thank you very much, and appreciate y'all's interest in Comanche and in Brennan Vineyards. I'm a retired physician, originally from South Carolina, and we came to Texas originally in 1971.
Okay.
I'd finished my training at Parkland in Dallas, and we were planning to go back to South Carolina, but they weren't quite ready for what I did. And so I knew a fellow in Fort Worth needed a partner, and so I said I'd go to Fort Worth and practice with him for a year or so. And 30 years later, I was still in Fort Worth. So in 1997, when I was still in practice, we got a phone call from our daughter-in-law who worked for the Polo stores in Dallas and Fort Worth in the interior design department. And she said, "Do you want to go see the coolest house in Texas?" We said, "Sure." "Where is it?" "It's in Comanche." "Okay, where's Comanche?" "Well, it's about 100 miles southwest of Fort Worth." So we came out to this house, which is the Mccreary House. It was built in 1879, and it was restored. It was in terrible, terrible shape and was ready to be demolished. And it was purchased and restored by Tyler and Teresa Beard. And they did that I think in the 80s. And they were very big collectors of Western memorabilia.
Okay.
He was the Smithsonian's expert on cowboy boots.
Wow.
And had written several books about cowboy boots, and they had literally warehouses full of ceramics and glassware and cowboy boots and clothes and everything. And the way they made their money was they would go around to garage sales and buy used Levi's 501 jeans, you know, the button fly, for 50 cents a pair, and then sell them in Japan for $100 a pair.
Oh my goodness.
So they got some money that way. And Ralph Lauren knew about their collection of Western memorabilia, and he came down and bought their entire collection and used it as inspiration for some lines that he did in the late 80s, early 90s. And so anyway, Tyler and Teresa sold the house to an interior decorator that worked with our daughter-in-law in the Dallas store, and named Mark Clay. And so we came out. The house was decorated to the nines, as you might imagine. Yeah. And so our daughter-in-law and her son and my wife and I were standing there, and she said that Mark mentioned that he was interested in selling this house. And so my son, who was practicing law in Dallas, said, "Why don't we buy it?" And as I tell people, if you have kids, you know what that really means is they're on the title and you're on the note. Yeah. So we bought this house in 1997, and we would just use it as a weekend getaway. We would come out here. I knew nothing about small town Texas, but it was peaceful, it was cool, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. And we would go to the neighborhood Greasy Spoon on Saturday morning and eat breakfast and just relax and have a good time. And so we became aware of 33 acres that was right adjacent to this property that was owned by descendants of the family that built this house.
Wow.
And so we negotiated with them for quite a while, ended up buying it, had no idea what we were going to do with it. And the 33 acres was really, I think, the unofficial city dump. There were sofas and washing machines and 8 million tires and everything you could imagine on that property.
Wow.
But we bought it, and we thought of 100 different things to do with it. And finally, Richard Becker, who is a fellow physician and a friend of mine that I'd known for years through the medical world, he has Becker Vineyards, which I'm sure you've heard of in
that
Fredericksburg.
Sounded familiar.
And so I was talking to him, and he said, well, why don't you grow grapes? And so I thought, that sounds interesting. And my wife and I had been wine fans for a long time, and so that was appealing to me, but I knew nothing about agriculture, knew nothing about growing grapes or anything. So we joined the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association and went to an event that they have every year that was originally in Junction, Texas, where Bear Bryant took his Aggie football team a long time ago. And so we went down and learned about, installing a vineyard, and in 2002 we put in 5 acres of grapes on that 33 acres. Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and Viognier. And the reason we chose the Syrah was that it was from south of France. Viognier was from the south of France also, and actually the first and best Viognier I had ever tasted was from Becker Vineyards, and so I thought that was a grape that could do well in Texas. And then we picked Cabernet Sauvignon because we like Cabernet. And so we put in 5 acres and started taking courses in viticulture at Grayson College in Denison, and later in enology or winemaking there. And so our plan was to grow grapes and sell them mainly to Becker Vineyards, which we did for a couple of years. And so I got the bug. We started playing around with making wine in our garage.
Oh, wow.
And so I got the bug to improve our product. And so in 2005, we opened a winery, converted this house into our tasting room, and that's the way we got started.
And now it's not just the tasting room here in the house, but y'all have got a couple of other buildings out there that y'all put in as well, right?
Well, the production facility, which is the winery, which is the main building, is in the center of our campus. And then we have what's called the Austin House, which is our event center. We have a full professional kitchen there, and we can do all sorts of events. We have wine dinners there, and that was added in 2006. Wow. And we moved here from Fort Worth in 2004, and we have a house over near the original vineyard, and then we have another vineyard 10 miles south of here in Newburgh that's 21 acres. So we have a total, and we enlarged this vineyard I think in 2004, so we have a total of 30 acres of grapes, and then we buy grapes from other growers in the state, mainly on the High Plains.
Okay, very cool. So how many wines do y'all make on average, like different types of wine?
Well, I think we have about 12 or 13 different labels now.
Oh, wow. That's quite a few.
Yeah, we
y'all
grow,
are busy.
I think we grow ourselves, I think we grow 11 different varieties, and then we buy other varieties from other growers.
Wow. So do you make the wine still yourself, or do you have a...
No, I started out as the winemaker, and I got help from Kim McPherson. And then in 2008, I believe it was, Todd Webster joined us, and Todd has, he was not a trained winemaker, but he came, we worked together, I taught him everything that I knew, and then he started taking courses from Texas Tech, Washington State University, and and he started, both of us started going to continuing education courses that the state put on in conjunction with their wine marketing program for several years, and he has become a widely recognized, very good winemaker in the state.
Nice.
So Todd is a fabulous asset for us.
I can imagine you guys y'all got a good thing going on here.
Well,
it's really neat. It's a beautiful campus, and we got to talk to some of the ladies up at the front, and I got to see the wines up there. Y'all got a lot going on. This is a great asset for Comanche.
Well, thank you. It is, and our attitude was and still is that we wanted to help Comanche, and we wanted Comanche to help us, and we've, I think, fulfilled that objective very nicely.
Nice. Well, what started out as, hey, let's go see a house, turned into a vineyard.
Exactly, and let's see, in 1997, even in 2000, or maybe 99, if you'd told me that I would be here talking to you in our winery, I would have thought that a truck had hit you.
What? You might need a CAT scan. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today and telling what a cool story,
Well, thank you.
It's always neat to find the different things like that, to find out the story behind this house here is amazing. I love old houses and stuff. And the campus is absolutely beautiful. And that people are milling around and tasting great wine. It's a good thing. You can even meet Louie, the cat.
That's right, Louie rules
he lives
the roost
here. He rules the roost, they say. So.
And one thing I would add is that when we initially got involved, which was about 2000, 2001, the quality of Texas wine was uneven, to say the least. And since that time, and particularly over the last 10 years, there has been a dramatic improvement in the quality of Texas wine. And we compete, as do other Texas wineries, with wineries all over the world, and win double golds, best of class, things of that sort. So Texas wine is really up and coming, and is something that we hope that the public will accept and recognize for the quality that it is.
Excellent, excellent. So if people want to check y'all out, and they're not necessarily in Comanche, how can they find y'all?
Well, our website, BrennanVineyards.com, we have an online store.
Nice.
We're in distribution through Republic National, so theoretically available at wine stores, supermarkets, liquor stores all across the state. But we're not we're a small winery, so we're not everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we also have a tasting room in Fredericksburg called 4.0 Cellars.
Okay, I've heard of that.
That is very busy and is a beautiful facility also. So those are the three ways.
Okay, awesome. So there you have it, folks. Look them up, BrennanVineyards.com. And y'all have a Facebook and an Instagram. I think I saw that out there too.
Yes.
That people can find you as well.
Yes,
shop online.
Yes.
And it's certainly worth your drive across Texas to come down here
and
and
love to have you
visit.
And we do have a beautiful facility. And,
it is beautiful.
This time of year is not the prettiest time of year, but in the spring and summer and fall, it's gorgeous.
There you go. And make sure you check it out. They do events. They host events. You can do all kinds of fun stuff here and meet the staff and taste some great wine. Say hi to Dr. Brennan and Louie.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a great place. Thank you so much for talking to us. And there you have it, folks. Certainly worth your drive across Texas. Bye, y'all.